The Dollmaker's Secret. In a sleepy, forgotten village nestled deep within the woods, there stood a small, decrepit shop. Its crooked sign read, "The Dollmaker's Secrets." Those who dared to enter did so with trembling hearts, for the shopkeeper was a recluse, and the dolls she crafted held a chilling reputation. Megan, a fearless investigative journalist known for her sophistication, had been drawn to the village and its macabre legend. The townspeople spoke of tales of dolls that whispered secrets and moved when no one was looking. They shunned the dollmaker, fearing her dark arts, but Megan was unrelenting in her pursuit of the truth. One moonless night, she ventured into the village and found the shop at the edge of a winding, overgrown path. The shopkeeper, a hunched and hooded figure, emerged from the shadows, her voice barely above a whisper as she offered Megan one of her eerie creations. The doll was a masterpiece of artistry, its porcelain face exquisitely detailed. Yet the lifelike eyes seemed to follow Megan, as if they held a sinister secret. She accepted the doll, her curiosity outweighing her unease. Back in her rented room, Megan's investigation began. She scrutinized the doll, hoping to uncover the source of the chilling tales. Its intricate dress concealed a hidden compartment which contained a tiny, aged journal. The pages were filled with cryptic drawings and unsettling confessions, all signed by Eleonora the Dollmaker. Megan was engrossed by the journal's tales of vengeance and retribution. Eleonora had crafted the dolls to seek out the darkest secrets of those who owned them, secrets that could be used to manipulate and control. It was a sinister power, and Eleonora reveled in the torment she inflicted. But as Megan delved deeper into her research, strange occurrences plagued her. Whispers filled the room when she was alone. Her belongings moved without explanation, and shadows danced in her peripheral vision. The doll, once an inanimate object, seemed to thrum with a dark energy. In a moment of fear, she locked the doll inside a drawer, and the room grew quiet. But the silence was more unsettling than the whispers. She knew she had to confront the dollmaker who held the key to this terrifying puzzle. The next night, Megan returned to the shop. Eleonora's hooded figure loomed in the dim light, her voice a haunting melody. She revealed the truth. Eleonora had imbued her dolls with the souls of those who had persecuted her, forcing them to confess their deepest secrets and exacting her revenge. Megan's blood ran cold as she realized that the doll she had taken held the soul of a cruel, long-dead man. It whispered secrets, but its true purpose was revenge. Eleonora offered a chilling choice: return the doll and forget the horror, or join her in crafting dolls that would haunt the living. Fearing the malevolent power of the dolls, Megan chose to leave the village, but the doll remained, whispering its secrets to those who ventured too close. As she fled the village, Megan couldn't shake the feeling that she had left something behind. She felt the eyes of the doll following her, and the whispers echoed in her mind, a bone-chilling reminder of the dollmaker's secrets that would haunt her forever. The Haunting of the Cursed Doll. In the heart of a quiet, time-forgotten town, a sinister secret lay buried within the dusty confines of an old, decrepit mansion. Its ominous legend revolved around a cursed doll, a relic of a past shrouded in malevolent whispers and chilling tales. Only the bravest dared to enter, and none ever left unscathed. A talented historian renowned for her academic prowess, Amelia was no stranger to mysteries of the past. When she learned of the mansion's unsettling history, her insatiable curiosity led her to its foreboding gates. The townspeople spoke of the cursed doll whose wicked presence had tormented generations. The mansion loomed in a state of disrepair, its once grand facade now weathered and time-worn. Amelia's footsteps echoed through the empty hallways, their hollowness a prelude to the horrors that awaited. The cursed doll, Agatha, was said to be a vessel for the spirits of those who had suffered and perished within the mansion's shadowy confines. Amelia dismissed such tales as mere superstition, but she couldn't deny the desolation that clung to the mansion. Amelia discovered a hidden chamber concealed behind a bookshelf. Inside, she found Agatha, a porcelain doll with a hauntingly lifelike face. Its eyes seemed to follow her, its small, painted lips twisted into a sinister grin. Night after night, the doll haunted her dreams, whispering cryptic verses and revealing glimpses of past traumas. Amelia's sanity teetered on the brink as the doll's evil presence seeped into her life, casting shadows upon her very existence. Amelia's research unveiled the mansion's dark history, an inheritance of cruelty, suffering, and secrets too horrific to be contained. The doll, a creation of a tormented artist, held the souls of those who had met a gruesome end within the mansion's walls. It was a vessel for the vengeful spirits seeking retribution. As the cursed doll's intentions grew clearer, Amelia's world unraveled. The mansion became a nightmarish labyrinth, where spectral figures lurked in every shadow, and the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred. The vile spirit within Agatha sought to control Amelia's very soul, to trap her in a never-ending cycle of torment. In a desperate attempt to break free from Agatha's sinister grip, Amelia uncovered a hidden chamber beneath the mansion, a crypt that held the remains of the mansion's tortured past. It was there that she hoped to sever the cursed doll's link to the spirits and put an end to the haunting once and for all. Amelia confronted the cursed doll in the crypt, the souls of the mansion's victims writhing around her. The battle was a harrowing dance of survival and retribution, an eerie struggle to break free from Agatha's ungodly grasp. As Amelia shattered the porcelain doll in a final desperate attempt to break the curse, the spirits of the mansion's victims merged with her own soul, binding her to the mansion as the new custodian. She had unwittingly condemned herself to protect the world from the vindictive spirits within. As she sealed the remains of Agatha in the crypt, Amelia couldn't help but wonder how many others had been ensnared by the cursed doll, destined to become its unwilling guardian. The Curse of the Raggedy Doll. In the heart of a small, forgotten town, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering pines, stood an antique shop, its dusty windows filled with relics of the past. Among the treasures hidden within its depths lay a raggedy doll, its porcelain face cracked and faded, its eyes vacant and staring. Years ago, a young girl named Emily had stumbled upon the doll, its lifeless form hidden beneath a pile of forgotten toys. Drawn to its melancholic charm, she begged her mother to purchase it, unaware of the sinister secrets it held. From the moment Emily brought the doll home, strange things began to happen. Whispers echoed through the empty house, shadows danced in the corners of her room, and the doll itself seemed to move of its own accord. Emily's parents dismissed her fears as childish imagination, but she knew better. She could feel the doll's presence, its malevolent aura seeping into her very being. One night, Emily awoke to a chilling sight. The doll sat perched on her chest, its eyes glowing with an eerie red light. A wave of terror washed over her as the doll's lips curled into a wicked grin. "Emily," the doll rasped in a voice like the rustling of dead leaves, "play with me." Emily screamed, her voice piercing the silence of the night. Her parents rushed to her room, but the doll was gone, vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared. They found Emily trembling in her bed, her eyes wide with fear, but they refused to believe her tale. As the days turned into weeks, Emily's fear grew, the doll's presence becoming more and more menacing. She could feel its cold touch on her skin, its whispers echoing in her ears, urging her to play. One day, Emily was playing in the woods near her home when she heard a familiar voice calling her name. She followed the sound, her heart pounding in her chest, until she stumbled upon a clearing. There, in the center of the clearing, stood the Raggedy Doll, its porcelain face even more cracked and faded, its eyes burning with an unholy light. "Emily," the doll hissed, its voice dripping with venom, "your time has come." Emily tried to run, but the doll's grip held her fast. Its eyes glowed brighter, and its lips began to move in a grotesque parody of a smile. "Play with me, Emily," the doll taunted. "Play with me forever." Emily screamed, her voice lost in the vastness of the woods. The doll's grip tightened, and its eyes burned into her very soul. The next morning, Emily's parents found her lifeless body in the clearing, her face frozen in a mask of terror. The doll was gone, its whereabouts a mystery. The townspeople whispered of a curse, of a malevolent spirit trapped within the doll's lifeless form. They avoided the antique shop, afraid of the evil that lurked within its walls. But the doll remained, its vacant eyes staring out into the darkness, waiting for another unsuspecting soul to play with it forever. The curse within the teddy bear. In a picturesque, seemingly idyllic town nestled in the countryside, there existed a charming and unassuming toy shop known as Whimsical Wonders. This quaint store held a secret that had eluded the notice of the townsfolk for generations, a secret that would unravel the serenity of their lives, the curse within the teddy bear. Among the town's most sophisticated and fearless seekers of the supernatural, there was Amelia, renowned for her unyielding pursuit of enigmatic mysteries. When she heard whispers of the toy shop's unsettling legend, her insatiable curiosity led her to venture into the heart of the town where hidden horrors awaited. Whimsical Wonders was a sanctuary of enchanting curiosities where every shelf held a peculiar secret. The dolls seemed to blink when no one was looking, and the wind-up toys moved of their own accord. The shop's atmosphere was heavy with an uncanny tension, as if the toys harbored ancient, malevolent stories of their own. Amelia, with her sophisticated intellect, brushed aside the discomforting sensations that haunted the store. She ventured deeper into the shop, drawn to a collection of antique teddy bears. One particular bear, with button eyes and a stitched smile, stood out among the rest. Its aura of evil was palpable, and it seemed to be watching her with an unnerving intensity. As she held the teddy bear, a disconcerting chill overcame her, and the air grew heavy with a foreboding presence. It was as if the bear's curse had wrapped around her, pulling her deeper into its sinister embrace. Amelia dismissed this unease as mere superstition, but the shadows in the shop seemed to dance with an eerie glee. Night after night, the teddy bear infiltrated her dreams, becoming a malevolent presence in her darkest nightmares. It whispered cryptic verses and unfurled glimpses of haunting tales, leaving her in a state of perpetual fear. The bear's chilling, stitched smile became an image she couldn't escape. Amelia's tireless research uncovered the toy shop's dark history, an inheritance of curses, misfortunes, and a malevolent toy maker who had crafted his creations with dark intentions. The teddy bear, it was said, held the malicious spirit of the toy maker, seeking retribution for a perceived betrayal. As the bear's dark intentions became clearer, Amelia's life unraveled into a nightmarish toy store. The shop transformed into a house of horrors, where toys came to life, and spectral apparitions lurked in the aisles. The ungodly spirit within the teddy bear sought to manipulate Amelia, to control her like a puppet in its twisted narrative. Desperation overcame Amelia as she realized the bear's wicked plan to transfer its curse into her, making her a vessel for the malevolent spirit. With each passing night, she could feel the spirit's unholy influence growing stronger, inching closer to consuming her very essence. In a final, harrowing confrontation, Amelia faced the teddy bear in the heart of the toy shop. The battle was a chilling struggle for survival, an eerie dance to break free from the depraved grasp of the cursed bear. In a shocking revelation, the cursed teddy bear was not the malevolent force. It was the toy shop itself, a sentient and evil entity that had ensnared Amelia in its nightmarish narrative, feeding on her fear and despair. With a corrupt chuckle, the toy shop devoured Amelia's very soul, making her a permanent fixture in its demented world of wonders. She became another spectral figure in the never-ending show of Whimsical Wonders, condemned to haunt the toy shop for all eternity. As Amelia's desperate cries echoed through the aisles of the toy shop, the evil entity continued to draw in curious souls, its sinister presence growing stronger with each new victim. The Clown in the Closet. In the quiet town of Terry, nestled deep within the mountains, there lived a family. The Abbeys were the epitome of the idyllic American family. Mr. and Mrs. Abbey, a picture of domesticity, lived in a quaint two-story house that had been in the family for generations. Their only child, young Karen, was a precocious 8-year-old with an insatiable curiosity. But little did the Abbeys know that their peaceful life was about to be shattered by an entity that would haunt them forever. The trouble began one rainy evening when Karen was alone in her room, huddled under her quilt with her stuffed animals. The soft pitter-patter of raindrops on the window pane played a soothing lullaby, and she was almost asleep when she heard a faint noise coming from her closet. She dismissed it as a product of her overactive imagination, attributing the sound to the creaks and groans of the old house. However, the noise persisted, growing louder and more distinct. It wasn't the sound of the house settling. It was more like a muffled chuckle, faint, but unmistakably eerie. Karen's heart quickened, and she gathered her courage to investigate the source of the disturbance. With trembling hands, she reached for the closet door and slowly pushed it open. Her room was dimly lit, the rain outside casting eerie shadows. As the door creaked open, she felt her breath catch in her throat. There, hanging amidst the dark clothes, was a grotesque sight that would forever haunt her nightmares. A life-sized clown with a wide, maniacal grin painted across its face dangled from the coat hanger. Its eyes seemed to gleam with malevolence, and its arms were outstretched as if beckoning Karen closer. Terror gripped her as she took in the clown's hideous features, the painted red lips, the red bulbous nose, and the disconcerting glassy eyes that seemed to follow her every move. It wore a frilly, multicolored costume, and its hair was a tangled mess of bright red curls. Its unsettling grin seemed to mock her innocence. Karen's scream echoed through the house, and her parents rushed to her room. But when they arrived, the closet was empty. They comforted their frightened daughter, assuring her that it had been a bad dream. However, Karen couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked in that closet. Over the next few weeks, Karen's parents dismissed her claims as the result of her overactive imagination. They never saw the clown themselves and attributed her nightmares to stress or the unsettling weather. But the nightmare didn't stop for Karen, and each night she heard the soft, malevolent laughter emanating from the closet. Karen's once happy demeanor began to wither, and her parents grew increasingly concerned. They took her to a therapist, but no amount of counseling seemed to ease her fears. She became withdrawn and obsessed with the closet, constantly begging her parents to move her to a different room. Her pleas fell on deaf ears, as her parents believed that relocating her would only exacerbate her irrational fears. One night, unable to take it any longer, Karen decided to confront the source of her torment. She entered her room determined to face the clown head-on. As she slowly opened the closet door, the laughter grew louder, echoing through the room like a haunting refrain. The clown, still hanging there, seemed to have grown more sinister. Its grin had widened, and its eyes gleamed with an unholy light. Karen could almost hear it taunting her, whispering dreadful secrets that sent shivers down her spine. The closet was suddenly filled with a putrid stench, as if something rotten lay hidden within. Gathering her courage, Karen reached out to touch the clown, only to be met with a horrifying realization. The clown was not a mere decoration. It was flesh and blood. It was a grotesque, living entity suspended from the hanger. The vision struck her like a thunderbolt, and she screamed in horror. Her parents rushed to her room, drawn by her agonized cries. They gasped at the sight before them, a grotesque, nightmarish clown hanging in the closet. As they rushed forward to free her from this nightmarish entity, the clown sprang to life, its razor-sharp teeth snapping at them. The room erupted into chaos as the family desperately fought for their lives, the clown's laughter now a cacophony of madness. The clown's movements were unpredictable, its limbs twisting and contorting in ways that defied all logic. With one final chilling laugh, the clown seized Karen, its maniacal grin stretching impossibly wide as it devoured her whole. Her parents could do nothing but watch in helpless horror as their beloved daughter was consumed by this monstrous supernatural fiend. The room fell silent, the only sound the soft, sinister laughter of the clown as it slowly retreated back into the closet, leaving behind nothing but a trail of blood and a profound, bone-chilling emptiness. The Abbeys were never the same again. They moved out of Terry, forever scarred by the nightmare that had invaded their lives. No one in the town ever knew the truth of what had happened, and the house stood abandoned, a haunting reminder of the family that had once called it home. As for Karen, she was lost to the closet, forever trapped in a world of nightmares, her existence now nothing but a haunting memory that would make the bravest souls shiver in fear. And the clown in the closet? It remained there, waiting for its next victim, its evil laughter echoing through the empty house, a malevolent presence that would continue to torment anyone who dared to enter its domain. For in the darkest corners of the world where nightmares come to life, the evil that dwells in the human heart can take on a form so terrifying that even the bravest souls cannot escape its grasp. The Abbeys learned this the hard way, a lesson that would haunt them for the rest of their days. In the end, it wasn't the house that was haunted, but their own hearts and the darkness that dwelled within.
The Strangers opens with a young couple, James Hoyt and Kristen McKay, arriving at James's family vacation home after attending a friend's wedding. Tension simmers between them due to a rejected marriage proposal. The secluded house in the woods becomes the backdrop for their strained relationship. As night falls, a mysterious and unsettling knock on the door sets the stage for a night of terror. A stranger, a young woman in a porcelain doll mask, stands on their doorstep asking for someone who does not live there. Bewildered and disturbed, James and Kristen send her away, unaware that their peaceful night will soon descend into chaos. The unsettling atmosphere intensifies as the Strangers, a trio of masked assailants, Dollface, Pinup Girl, and Man in the Mask, return to terrorize James and Kristen. The power is cut, and the couple realizes they are not alone. The Strangers play a sadistic game, toying with their victims psychologically before launching into violent attacks. The Strangers' motives remain elusive as they silently and methodically pursue James and Kristen throughout the house. The tension is palpable, and the film skillfully uses its minimalist setting and eerie sound design to create a sense of claustrophobia and dread. The Strangers continue their torment, gradually revealing their sinister intent. The couple's attempts to escape or seek help are thwarted at every turn. The film explores the primal fear of being hunted in one's own home, and the Strangers' lack of clear motivation adds to the terror. They are not seeking riches or revenge. They seem to relish the torment they inflict. As the night unfolds, the psychological toll on James and Kristen becomes increasingly apparent. The Strangers' relentless pursuit and sadistic games push the couple to the brink of despair. The question of survival takes center stage, with each moment escalating the stakes and the horror. The film builds to a haunting and devastating climax as the Strangers close in on James and Kristen. The conclusion is both shocking and ambiguous, leaving the audience with lingering questions about the nature of evil and the randomness of violence. The film's final moments are a chilling testament to the helplessness and vulnerability of its characters. The Strangers, directed by Brian Bertino, is a relentless and chilling home invasion horror film that skillfully taps into the primal fear of being targeted by anonymous and sadistic assailants. With a minimalist approach, the film unfolds as a nightmarish ballet of suspense, terror, and psychological torment. One of the film's strengths lies in its simplicity. The setting, a remote and isolated house, becomes a character, amplifying the sense of vulnerability and isolation. The lack of a clear motive for the Strangers adds an additional layer of fear. They are not motivated by revenge or personal vendettas, but by a seemingly random desire to inflict suffering. The pacing is masterful, with the tension steadily escalating from the first unsettling knock on the door. The film's use of silence is particularly effective, creating an atmosphere where every creak and rustle becomes a potential harbinger of terror. The sparingly used soundtrack contributes to the film's eerie and unsettling ambiance. The Strangers themselves are hauntingly portrayed. The simplicity of their masks and the lack of discernible personalities make them enigmatic and terrifying figures. Their almost casual approach to violence, combined with their unnerving silence, contributes to the film's ability to burrow under the audience's skin. Scott Speedman and Liv Tyler deliver convincing performances as the besieged couple. Their portrayal of mounting terror and helplessness is palpable, drawing the audience into the nightmare they are experiencing. The film's success in generating empathy for its characters enhances the impact of the horror. The Strangers distinguishes itself within the home invasion subgenre by its commitment to psychological horror. While there are moments of intense violence, the true horror lies in the unknown and the unpredictability of the Strangers' actions. The film taps into the fear of vulnerability in one's own home, a place traditionally associated with safety. Brian Bertino's direction is commendable, particularly in his ability to create tension with minimal resources. The film's cinematography, coupled with its stark lighting and shadow play, enhances the sense of impending doom. Bertino understands that what is not shown can be as terrifying as what is revealed. The Strangers is a masterclass in suspense and psychological horror. Its ability to evoke fear through simplicity, combined with strong performances and effective direction, cements its status as a modern classic in the horror genre. The film's impact lingers, leaving audiences with a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying evils can emerge from the shadows without warning. The Strangers is 91 minutes long and is rated R for violence and gore. The Southern Underworld gives it 4 bloody knives.
The Shining is a psychological horror film directed by Stanley Kubrick, based on the novel of the same name by Stephen King. The story revolves around the Torrance family, comprising of Jack, his wife Wendy, and their young son. Jack, a struggling writer and recovering alcoholic, takes a job as the winter caretaker of the Overlook Hotel, a remote and grand hotel located in the Colorado Rockies. They agree to stay at the hotel during the off-season when it's snowbound and inaccessible by road. The Torrances plan to use this isolated period to rebuild their lives, but as winter sets in, the family becomes increasingly isolated from the outside world. It becomes clear that the Overlook Hotel has a dark and haunted history, and its supernatural forces begin to exert their influence on the family. Young Danny possesses psychic abilities known as the Shining, which allows him to see and communicate with supernatural entities and perceive the hotel's grim past. As the winter storm intensifies, the family's isolation deepens and the Overlook's malevolent forces begin to manifest, particularly in Jack, who becomes increasingly unhinged. The hotel itself seems to come to life, and the family finds themselves in a nightmarish struggle for survival. Their harrowing experiences and the secrets of the hotel lead to a terrifying climax, where the true nature of the Overlook Hotel is revealed. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is a cinematic masterpiece and a benchmark in psychological horror. It skillfully blends elements of supernatural horror, psychological tension, and existential dread. From the moment the Torrance family arrives at the foreboding Overlook Hotel, a sense of impending doom hangs in the air, and Kubrick's direction and use of atmosphere are impeccable. Jack Nicholson's performance as Jack Torrance is nothing short of legendary. His portrayal of a man descending into madness is haunting and unforgettable. Shelley Duvall as Wendy. Torrance is equally effective, conveying a sense of vulnerability and desperation as she confronts the increasingly erratic behavior of her husband. Young Danny Lloyd delivers a remarkable performance as Danny, the child with psychic abilities. His ability to convey fear and innocence adds depth to the story. Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran, the hotel's cook with the same psychic abilities as Danny, provides an important connection to the supernatural elements of the story. The Shining is a slow burn, and Kubrick's meticulous pacing adds to the tension. The film's unsettling visuals, eerie sound design, and enigmatic narrative all contribute to an overwhelming sense of dread. Kubrick's departure from Stephen King's source material in some aspects may have been a point of contention for purists, but it allows the film to stand as a unique and enigmatic work of art. What makes The Shining truly exceptional is its ability to haunt the viewer long after the credits roll. The film is open to interpretation and has sparked endless debates and theories about its meaning. It delves into themes of isolation, familial disintegration, and the fragility of the human psyche. The Overlook Hotel itself becomes a character, representing the evil that can lurk within even the most beautiful exteriors. In summary, The Shining is a horror classic that transcends the genre. It's a cinematic experience that delves deep into the human psyche, exploring themes of madness, isolation, and the supernatural. Its impact on popular culture and its ability to disturb and fascinate viewers make it a must-see for any cinephile, even if you're not typically a fan of horror films. Kubrick's The Shining is an enduring masterpiece that continues to terrify and captivate audiences decades after its release. The Shining is 146 minutes long and is rated R for graphic violence, profanity, and brief nudity. The Southern Underworld gives it 5 bloody knives.